Got you stopped your speed.
My bad, bro. I appreciate it. Cincinnati.
Okay. You know your tags are expired as well.
I know that already. I work for Cincinnati.
You work for Cincinnati and you got expired tags?
I showed you my badge.
I know, but I'm saying you work for Cincinnati and you drive around with expired tags?
I know the process, like I know it. Me and you both know how it goes.
I know how it goes.
Yeah, me too.
And you've been drinking?
I have not.
You have. I can still smell it on you as you're talking.
You cannot smell anything on me.
I can smell
I can smell gum because I've had gum.
You know how this goes.
I know how it goes. That's why I'm asking you why you're doing this. Like I want to get
because I smell alcohol. I'm doing my job.
Okay, I will do it.
All right, we're back with 3 criminal defense lawyers react. I'm here with Tristan Hinrichsen. You may have seen him from past videos of ours, along with a newcomer, Eric Tibbs, another attorney in our office. So us 3, we're gonna watch this video. We've never seen it before. We're gonna watch this arrest video, give you some commentary, give you some thoughts, what we're right about, what we're wrong about. I am certain that you will tell us in the comments. And at the end, we're gonna give everybody involved a grade. How did they do? And if applicable, how would we defend the person in court if we were representing them? So let's see. All right, let's see what we got here, guys.
Hello. Got you stopped your speed.
My bad, bro. I appreciate it. Cincinnati.
Okay. Anything to drink tonight?
Nope.
Mind if I check your eyes out?
Yes, sir.
All right, bring your head out here just a little bit.
Okay.
Follow, tip my finger with your eyes only. Don't be
He's right into it.
Man, how much you had to drink?
Literally nothing. I took my friend home.
All right, I'm gonna get you out, make sure you're okay to drive.
Okay.
Step on out. You know your tags are expired as well.
I know that already. I work for Cincinnati.
You work for Cincinnati and you got expired tags?
I showed you my badge.
I know, but I'm saying you work for Cincinnati and you drive around with expired tags?
Fair point.
How long you work for him?
About a year and a half. I started when I graduated college.
All right. I'll have you walk through the passenger side of my vehicle.
You said walk to the path?
Yes,
This side? What do you want me to start?
Just walk back there. Just walk normal.
Just walk?
Yeah, normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were doing the step test or whatever.
No, I'm going to do HGN first, and we'll go from there.
So there has to be some bad driving here, right? I mean, he goes right into a DUI investigation, like as he approaches the vehicle. So there must have been some bad driving.
Or to go that fast, maybe he smelled alcohol or he saw something in the car.
Yeah, it's something, right? Because something tipped him off. He was, did a half-assed HGN from the very first second, like one pass, and now, boom, you're out of the car.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Where do you live at?
You said what?
Where do you live at?
I'm literally going home. I dropped my friend off.
Okay.
We're at my friend's house.
Okay, cool. All right, just stand right here. Face out towards me. All right, have you followed? Tip this pen with your eyes only. Don't move your head at all, okay? Do you have any recent head, neck, or back injuries?
My neck hurts, yes.
Your neck hurts? Do you have any issues with your knees? Ankles,
My
or
knees
anything?
hurt, yes, too. Yes, sir.
Take any prescriptions?
No, sir.
Seen a doctor for anything?
No, sir.
Glasses or contacts?
Nope.
Diabetic or epileptic?
Nope.
All right. Follow tip this pen with your eyes only. Don't move your head at all.
Doesn't tell him to put his hands to his side.
Right.
You can blink at any time.
You said what, sir?
You can blink at any time.
Okay.
Stay with me.
Okay.
You know the process, man. I gotta hold it out there for too long.
I know the process. Like I know it.
All right.
So why are you doing
I
it?
gotta hold it out there for too
Yep.
long, so just stay with me here.
So they're just checking for the nystagmus, which is the involuntary jerking in the eye, which normally on these body-worn cameras, depending on the angle the officer has, you usually don't see that much, but in this one, it's actually pretty clear. You can kind of see his eyes. He seems pretty with it.
Yeah, he does. We're also, if this was our client, we'd be sort of breaking this down a lot slower, going through to make sure that the officer does the right number of passes, in the correct amount of time for each pass. NHTSA, which is the organization that puts these out, has their guidelines and their rules. And so obviously if they're not followed, that is then a less reliable test. Anything you want to add there, Tristan?
Just you can clearly see his eyes, and I guarantee that police report is going to say red, bloodshot, glassy eyes. And they are not.
They don't
at
appear
all.
to be that way. Yeah, I mean, so far, the guy looks...
He looks and sounds sober.
Looks fine. Yeah, he's even following the test for the most part.
Right.
A lot of people have a tendency to move their head. Yeah, exactly. As opposed to just following it with their eyes. Typically people who have consumed drugs, alcohol, have a harder time following directions. He seems to be following the directions just fine. So we'll see. So far, I think we just got an aggressive officer who loves to do field sobriety tests.
It's the light. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to keep the light out of your eyes.
Okay.
Just follow to the pen, all right?
Yep. I literally live like 15, 20 minutes away.
Okay. How much you had to drink tonight?
Literally nothing.
Nothing at all?
No, sir. Me and my friend were at my boy's house, and I dropped him off just now.
Okay.
And I was literally taking me and my girl home. That's literally it.
Literally.
That's too long.
So nothing to drink at all?
No, sir.
So if you blow in a portable breath test, it'd be triple
I
zeros.
refuse all that. You can call your sergeant if you want to.
I don't need to call my sergeant.
I'm
Why would I need to call my
just
sergeant?
saying. But like, literally have had nothing to drink.
Nothing to drink, then it would be
Nothing.
triple zeros,
Nothing.
right?
You both know how it goes.
I know how it goes.
Yeah, me too.
And you've been drinking.
I have not.
You have. I can still smell it on you as you're talking to me.
You cannot smell anything on me.
I can smell
I can
it on you.
smell gum because I've had gum.
No, I can smell a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage.
You cannot.
I can.
Okay.
Why would I make it up? Why would I pull you out of the car?
I have no idea. I was speeding. Yes, if you want to earn me a speeding ticket and ticket for my registration being expired, fine. That's fine.
Okay. But you're not willing a portable breath test?
No, sir.
I'm going to put you through some more tests.
All right. So let's just talk about doing these tests. Now, I will preface this by saying it is in Ohio. Apparently, I don't know anything about Ohio law. We're Illinois lawyers. But if this was in Illinois, at least, I mean, what do you think? Should he have even done that HGN test, in your opinion?
I don't know if there's really any benefit to it if he's going to refuse at this point, but
Right. He kind of does one and then changes his mind. He does what everyone thinks, which is, I'm going to do these, I'm going to be okay, and the officer's going to be cool with me and let me go. But at least in the videos we watch, that almost never really happens. At this point now, even if he does place him under arrest, that HGN test will be used against him.
yeah, if he's had nothing to drink, then yeah, he should just go give me the portable breath test
Right.
and not do anything else.
Obviously, I think that's probably not true. He did a really good job sticking to his guns because you can't see smell. There's no way you can smell from a video.
Right.
So if the cop says you smell like booze, that guy did a really good job being like, no, that's not true. That's not true. Like,
Right.
That's
Exactly.
a he said, she said.
Exactly right. Yep. And they are both officers. So
Right.
this guy's even, should at least have as much credibility, equal credibility. I don't know. So if it ends here, which I doubt it does, but if it ends here, I think this guy's got a pretty good chance of beating this DUI case, right? There's no chemical testing, blood, breath, or urine, assuming that doesn't happen. There's only one of the 3 standard field sobriety tests, and it is, at least in Illinois, the HGN test, that eye test, only is used to test whether or not somebody had consumed alcohol. At least here in Illinois, it is not supposed to be used as an indication of whether or not they're intoxicated, only whether or not they consumed.
I refuse.
You refuse? Go ahead and turn around. Raise your hands behind your back.
What test?
Turn around.
I will do the test.
So you want to do the test now?
I will do the test. I really just want to meet.
Why are you trying to? You know how this goes.
I know how it goes. That's why I'm asking you why you're doing this. Like, I want to get
Because
me
I
and my
smell
girl
alcohol.
home.
I'm doing my job.
Okay, I will do it. Do you want me to walk in the line?
No, just don't walk away. I'm talking to you right here.
I started the line right here.
You want to walk on the crack of this line right here.
Whatever you want me to do.
That is obviously uneven pavement. No, I'm gonna have you walk in front of my car.
Okay, that's fine.
Walk up here.
How many steps?
Walk up. Just walk.
Regular? Not one foot in front of the other?
No,
What do you
I'll
want me to
explain
do?
it when you get up here. I'm gonna have you walk towards my car.
Okay, so just walk regular.
Yes, that's what I just said. You're not listening.
No, I know how it goes.
Stop right there.
That's why I asked.
Turn towards my car.
Okay.
All right. So can you imagine a line going from here to my patrol car?
Can I? Yes, I will use
Sure,
this
you can
line
use
right
this line
here.
right
This
here.
black line that's like
Yes,
double.
sir, you can. Yes,
okay.
you can do that.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to get you in the starting position. Stay in that
Okay.
position until I tell you to start the
Okay.
test.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and put your left foot on the line with your right foot in front, touching heel toe. With your right foot in front, touching heel toe.
Right foot in front. Okay.
Heel toe. Arms out at your side.
Yeah.
What you're
Yes,
going
sir.
to do is take 9 heel toe steps down the line.
I don't know if I can take 9 steps, but I will try.
They're going to be
Then
heel
don't do
toe
it.
steps. You'll be able to.
Don't do it. Don't do it. He keeps saying, I know. I mean, he's only been a cop. I think he said a year and a half. Probably hasn't been through too many, put people through too many DUIs unless
Right.
like that's his patrol, right? That's his beat. But yeah, don't. If you are at all unsure, don't do it. Don't
Also,
do it.
I don't think it helps to reiterate how familiar you are with the process, either because you're a police officer or because you have a prior DUI. Because I think the judge is like, oh, so you know, and that's why you're doing all these things the way you're doing them.
That's true, right? Yeah. If he keeps saying, I'm incredibly knowledgeable and credible about this subject, and then doesn't do it well, that only hurts him.
Right. If it's like his second, like I remember from my first DUI, but no.
Right.
I know how this goes. I'm like, no.
I ran into that.
And I don't know if it's his nerves or what, but he keeps on, just like initiating the conversation instead of letting the officer just speak and responding.
Yeah. He's doing what everyone does when they're faced with this authority, a police officer. They're trying to prove themselves. They're trying to talk their way out, right? They're trying to prove their way out of this. I would say that's the fault that nearly everyone has in this, when he should be realizing, in my opinion, that this officer's pretty aggressive.
Right.
I mean, there are other explanations for smelling alcohol, right? Maybe his passenger was drinking, maybe he did have a beer, right? And he's not over the legal limit, right? There's plenty of legal reasons for smelling alcohol. It doesn't mean that somebody's necessarily under the influence. I suppose that's what the trooper is trying to determine here, but he's doing it in a pretty aggressive way where, at least to me, it seems like he's almost sort of assumed the outcome. No, maybe this guy should realize he is about to get arrested. He shouldn't be given more evidence and go deal with this in court.
Take 9 heel toe steps, all right? Unless you got Shaquille O'Neal's feet, you'll be fine. And they don't look like Shaquille O'Neal's feet. So 9 heel toe steps down that line. Once you get down that line, you're going to keep your lead foot on the ground. Take a series of small steps, turn around, and take 9 heel toe steps back.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
demonstrate it for you. The whole time you do it, you'll count your steps out loud. Stay looking down at your feet. Keep your arms down at your sides. And once you start the test, you're not stopped. It's going to look just like so. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. I took 3 steps. You're going to take 9. Keep the sleeve foot on the ground. Series of small steps, turn around, and 9 heel toe steps back the other way. 1, 2, 3. I took 3 steps. You're going to take 9.
Yes, sir.
You understand everything?
Yes, sir.
Check's okay. You can go ahead and begin test.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, so say this guy gets arrested. Well, we'll see in a few minutes, I suppose. Does this, what happens? How does anything change in the fact that this guy's a police officer?
I think the judge would certainly take note of that when he's watching these videos, and he would understand this is not just some helpless citizen trying to navigate in unusual circumstances. This is a guy who's been on the other side of this, and he should know exactly what's going on. And I think it's smart he refused that PBT, but I don't think it's going to help him as much as it helps somebody else who's never done this before, because
Right.
it's probably going to be some consciousness of guilt issue.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, exactly. Which, is true in every time someone refuses. There's a perceived or implied consciousness of guilt, but, the excuse for the everyday citizen is, I just don't trust the police.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just don't trust you guys. I don't trust that machine. Well, it's a little harder for him to say that.
Right.
I've actually represented a police officer before, not on a DUI, but on a criminal charge. And I mean, the guy didn't catch any breaks. Like, they were not sympathetic at all to his situation because he was a police officer. I mean, the argument was he should know better. And I watched the video, and it's like, it's hard to argue he should have known better.
Can I come back now?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
7, 8, 9.
All right. Turn towards my car. Feet together. Arms out at your sides. Same thing, don't start till I tell you to. What you're gonna do is raise either foot off the ground 6 inches. You're gonna keep your legs straight with your toes pointed out. The whole time you do it, you're gonna count in this manner. 1001, 1002, 1003, so on and so forth till I tell you to stop.
All right, so you just saw this guy do the second field sobriety test, which is the walk and turn. What's your take on it, guys?
I mean, there were things there that if they want to put something on him, they could.
You definitely wouldn't say he aced that. I mean, obviously, we've seen far worse. We've seen people who can't even stand up. But I think it's important for people to know it's not a pass-fail grade on these. Instead, the officer's marking indicators of impairment. And in fact, you heard that under his breath a few times he would mark that. So when he goes back and watches the video, he knows, which steps they were and what the indicator was. So definitely some indicators there, right?
Not a ton, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd say at best he broke even on helping himself out here.
At best.
At best.
Yes. Yeah, so as this story, remember we haven't seen this before. So as this develops, my opinion of whether or not he's consumed, I guess alcohol has changed a little bit. How about you guys?
I don't know if it would, based on how he did on the test, would it reach the level of saying he's impaired, but there's certainly maybe some consumption there.
Consumption for sure. When he refused the PBT, like if he knows he had anything to drink in 24 hours, take the PBT.
Right.
You're positive.
Right.
So obviously he had something. Whether he's impaired, I don't think he's impaired as of yet, but he definitely think he consumed.
But as he's doing these tests, you're learning more, aren't you?
Right.
Yep.
But I'm definitely leaning a little more towards impaired as I see that. That wasn't terrible, but
Right. I agree. I mean, the way he was talking really well, got out of the car, but the more I'm watching him, the more I'm thinking for sure that he's not helping himself.
right.
And number two is maybe for good reason. Maybe they do have a case here.
As you know, the test lasts 30 seconds. I time it with my watch.
Okay.
The whole time you do, you'll count in the manner I just instructed. You'll stay looking down at the foot that you have raised, and you'll keep your arms down at your side.
Yes, sir.
It's going to look just like so, either foot you like. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. See how my legs straight?
Yep.
Toes pointed out, arms down at your sides. Do that the whole time, okay?
Let me know when you're ready.
Do you understand the instructions?
I understand.
All right, you can go to begin the test.
1001, 1002, 1003. 1025, 1026. I can't, my balance is off.
All right. Now you can stop. That's 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was
All right.
about to say.
Go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
Are you serious right
Yes,
now?
sir. You're under arrest for operating vehicle impaired. Put your palms together. Take your watch off and put it in your pocket for me.
This is a Rolex.
All right. Put it in your pocket. I don't want any possession of your Rolex. Palms together.
I mean, he's right. Inventory.
So it's your girlfriend?
Yeah.
She been drinking too?
No.
Just you?
Yep.
All right.
Gotcha.
Well, I haven't been drinking, but
You were.
my friend's been drinking. Got confused with the question. I have
Pretty
not been drinking
straightforward.
whatsoever.
Did he just make an admission there at the end?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, and then he corrected
Yeah.
himself. But when they were going through the details of he knows the trooper's trying to get to who's going to take care of your car.
Yes.
Then he answered honestly.
Yep.
Like, have you been drinking? Yep. Your girlfriend? Nope.
Yep. People let their guard down when it's like,
You got me.
Yeah, exactly. It's came to an end in his mind, and then he lets his guard down, and he answers the question the exact wrong way. I mean, it's a trooper. What do we know about state troopers?
They live for these things.
They live for this, right? Their job's to be on the road, respond to vehicle traffic incidents, crashes. DUIs is a huge part of that. All right, let's go through some alternative scenarios here. So, say, obviously, the best thing to do is not drink and drive. Like, don't drink anything and drive. That's the foolproof way, almost foolproof way to avoid getting a DUI. Drink and drive, drugs, prescription drugs. Just don't do it and get behind the wheel. All right. Now with that out of the way, let's say that this guy didn't drink a darn thing. His friends were in the car earlier. His girl's been drinking. Whatever, he didn't drink a darn thing. What would you guys do in that scenario? The officer comes up. He's pretty aggressive. He's trying to do an HGN through the window. What would you do?
This guy is way too overconfident and is speaking too quickly because he feels like, I know what's going to happen before it's even going to happen. So he should basically just show his license. And when the officer's asking him to step out if he's been drinking, just politely respond, I'll do what you want me to do at this point. If you want me to step out, I'll step out.
But again, you haven't been drinking. So then the officer gets you out, wants you to do all of these field sobriety tests. Are you going to do them?
No, I wouldn't do the test. I mean, if I literally know that I've not had a drop of alcohol in 24, 48 hours, I might do the PBT, but I absolutely wouldn't do this field sobriety test.
Right.
I'd be polite. I'd give my information. I'd say, officer, if you need to write me a citation, Please do so. Otherwise, I'd like to know if I'm free to leave.
Yep.
And then they're going to arrest you. for
And
sure.
they're going to arrest you. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He could have refused those field sobriety tests, and he wouldn't have given them the evidence that they are now going to use against him in court on this DUI charge. And people watching are like, yeah, but you can't refuse. You can't refuse. You can refuse. Think about this. It is impossible for that trooper to make him stand on one leg. Like, you can refuse. Now, are there repercussions to refusing? Sure, but that becomes a balancing test, right? Like, what's the downside for refusing versus the upside for refusing? Each state's going to be a little different. Know your own state's laws if possible. But here in Illinois, there is no repercussion for refusing those standard field sobriety tests. I mean, other than like, the officer's going to think you're drunk and he's going to arrest you.
But I mean, this guy, he was doing exactly the thing that everybody does. He was like, if I play ball, I can do a good job. Maybe I can talk my way out of this.
Right.
And he talked his way more into it than out of it, I think.
Yes, like
Sure.
most people do.
Right. And I mean, he's a police officer. So that tells you how strong that compulsion is.
Yes,
'Cause
that's true.
he knows.
Yep, totally right.
And the trooper too, he basically asks them, "You want to do this test?" And there'll be troopers out there that are going to be like, "Okay, the first thing we're going to do is the HGN test." And they'll have you do the test, and before you know it, you've went through all 3 tests without even actually saying you're going to do them, because obviously just doing them
Right.
is consent.
Right, you've been pressured into it. Yeah, exactly. The trooper doesn't have to ask him to do it. He can just take him through it. All right, so if you haven't been drinking at all, I personally would still refuse those standard field sobriety tests, basically the physical performance tests, if you will. But if I hadn't drank, to you guys' point earlier, I'll do the PPT.
Right.
I know what it's going to come back as.
Like these tests, you slip once, suddenly you're drunk. You know, that's why
Exactly.
they're designed to fail people, basically.
Yep, exactly. Now, if you have had a few drinks, you call it one drink, right? You know you're not over the limit. It was 2 hours ago. You had a glass of wine at dinner. The officer says, "Hey, I smell alcohol." What do you do then?
I think you refuse everything and politely ask them to let you go or write you a ticket and do what they got to do.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to give them the evidence that they need because, again, it's not illegal to have a drink
No.
and drive. It's illegal to be impaired or over the legal limit and drive. So there's plenty of designated drivers out there who've been mistaken for being under the influence strictly because of the smell.
I would just say too, going off if you've only had one drink, like you don't want to probably like calculate in your head. You'd be like, oh, I think I'm going to be under, because you don't know how it's going to metabolize in your body. You don't know how the test is going to go. You don't know how reliable the test is. And then you got to unring that bell later.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, exactly right. All right, so now let's put some grades on this. This is just 2 people involved, pretty straightforward, something we see all the time, other than it being a police officer who's doing the tests. Aside from that, this is pretty straightforward for us. So let's talk about grade the trooper's investigation. Like, how was his DUI investigation overall? Tristan?
I give it a B. I mean, he went into it really fast. Like, he's jumped right into it. That being said, he went through the steps. He did offer the PPT off the bat, which is not standard, but I think he did it because this man's a police officer and he wanted to see if he could just clear this whole thing up right there. But he explained all the tests. He walked him through the two final tests, the walk and turn and the one leg stand, which, he demonstrated them and so forth. He was a little long on the HGN, but I don't think he made any errors that were enough to really destroy the evidentiary value of these tests. He was just a little on the aggressive side.
Yep. Overall, pretty decent DUI investigation. What do you think? What's your grade, Tibbs?
Yeah, I give him like a B plus, just because the way it started out is he didn't. It looked like it was going to go pretty bad in terms of him getting the evidence he wanted, but then it actually grew from there based on just the follies that we talked about with the defendant. Like, he gave him all sorts of information, and then he had the admission at the end that he'd been drinking, or after the arrest. So yeah, I mean, based on all that, the officer definitely got more evidence than what he originally thought he was going to get.
Yeah, I mean, he did. I agree. I would maybe even go into the A- range because, like it or not, this trooper's doing what he's supposed to do, which is DUI investigations. I believe him that he smelled alcohol, especially with that admission at the end. He smelled alcohol. The officer's job, unfortunately, is not to be polite from his perspective, right? It's to have an effective investigation, and that's what he did at the end. And he may have enough here for a DUI to stick. Especially if he can talk this guy into actually doing the breathalyzer back at the police station. Now that would be incredibly dumb of this guy, but the trooper's certainly going to try to talk him into it. We'll see. There's also scenarios where they get a warrant for a blood draw. I mean, I don't know how it works specifically in Ohio, but there's a scenario where that could play out too. So, yeah, I think the officer or the trooper did his job. All right, so now what is your grade, Tristan, for the defendant, the guy who's now arrested for DUI?
I mean, keeping in mind he's a police officer, I would say like a D. If he was just a normal client, I would say maybe a C+, because he talks well. He's clearly confident that he's not intoxicated, whatever he had to drink. And he flatly denies drinking at the beginning, which I think was great, because that's the only way you refute the smell allegation. His performance was okay. I mean, I think he was overconfident. And that last admission at the end, that was really bad. But if he was a normal guy, I'd say C plus B. But the fact that he's a police officer, he should know better. I'd have to say probably a D, because come on.
All right. Yep. Tibbs, tell me, how did he do overall?
Yeah, I gave him probably like a D plus, just because there were like when he doesn't have problems getting out of the car, he doesn't have problems walking. You can see his eyes are clear on the body camera during the HGN test. He's not really doing bad on the HGN test. From what you can see, and then on the field sobriety test, there are things that are going against him. I mean, he does mess up on the walk and turn, but that one leg stand was pretty good. He got up to 26 seconds, so he kind of helped himself, but he also hurt. I mean, for a police officer, like Tristan was saying, like he put his foot in his mouth too much and made it more difficult than it had to be.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna give him an F just for the two reasons. One is if he's drinking, I'm not giving him a pass. He should know better, right? Just than to drink and drive. But two is more on point. If he really does know, because like he said all along, I know how this works. I'm good. Then he should not. There's no scenario where he should have done those standard field sobriety tests, in my opinion. I don't care. I'm not doing those tests if I get pulled over for a DUI, at least here in Illinois. So I don't know what he's doing them for. All right, guys, there you have it. Not that crazy of a DUI arrest, but I think there's some really good lessons to learn there. I think there always are when you have a police officer arresting another police officer. There's some insights that can be gleaned on, how they operate, how they think, and I find it incredibly interesting whenever that happens. So go ahead and watch another video that we have where a police captain gets arrested for DUI. That one's a little bit more wild, a little bit crazier. If you haven't checked that one out, go do it right away.